welcome to FPL BlackBox ahead of Gameweek 6. You are joined by two managers who've had very different weeks, have very different weeks ahead of them, because one of us is on Wildcard and the other one isn't. One of us has been beaten, chucked under a bus. The other one is smelling of roses, sort of. Would you call 4.3 million smelling of roses, Andy? I think I would at this stage.
Compared to what I've been smelling of for most of the season, yes, I would say I am smelling of roses this week.
Yeah, how you doing anyway? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, man. It's a weird one because I'm watching obviously on YouTube, so I feel like there's a bit of a delay. So you know those like old phone jacker things people used to do where they can't speak if they hear their voice 1 second after. It feels a bit like that's going to happen, but I'm okay at the moment.
Yeah, let us know in the chat what the image and stuff is like, because we had a few. It's just not like BlackBox. It's a few little technical gremlins. I don't think it's my side, which means the stream should be all right. You're a little bit blurry. I think there's something going on with your internet. I mean, that's not like you. It's not like you've ever hosted a popular stream and it's just gone down halfway through for no reason. It's fine.
Yeah, and to be fair, Somerset's had internet now for at least 2 or 3 months, so it should be fine. But we'll just see how it goes.
You sound fine. That's the main thing. As long as people can hear you, it's all good. Hi to everyone in the chat. Thank you for choosing to tune into this if you're watching live over the football. Obviously, there's some cup games going on tonight. We've got Forest in Europe. All my eyes are on Gibbs White, but it seems to be Igor Jesus who's stealing the headlines with 2 goals already. Hi to Matt Riley, who says 7 million. Come on, Asmay. I'm trying, Matt. All right, it's not going well.
But you've had fun. Believe me, you've had fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about my team in a minute, and you'll all say, surely you've wildcarded this week, and I'm like, nah, I'll be fine. Another week with these chokers. We'll be all right. Hi to FPL Gov, who says he wants the Godfather FPL back. I don't think that's a slight on us. I think he just wants him back generally. If you want a bit of Mark, check out Yelena's vlog, because he makes a appearance. We met up in Brighton the other day.
Oh,
it was lovely.
I saw that he brought his laptop just in case your chat was poor, which is quite good. And he had it out, so...
Immediately. I literally started talking to him and the laptop came out. There's no risk for that man, but no, it was good. It was good to see him. It was funny because we went out for lunch with like his partner and his kids actually, and it was very sweet. And I said to Pip, surely, like, how is Mark? Like, how's his stress levels? Like, surely he's better. She just looks at me dead in the eyes and just go, he's exactly the same.
Starting to think it might be him.
It might be a Mark problem. Yeah, it could be. Hi to FPL Sandman in the chat. I see someone's 8 million in the chat, making me feel better as well, which is excellent. FPL Rank Chaser mentions the FCAs. Yep, we've had another nomination for the FCAs. I didn't actually do a screen for it, but... Oh, hang on. This is good video content. We'd love to win another one of these. Little, I've got it the wrong way around. Little see-through trophy doesn't show up very well on this, but we've got 2 of these in the bank. We'd love to make it a hat trick. So if you're watching this or listening to this on the pod, do vote for us in the FCAs. You can go onto their website and look for the FPL category and vote for FPL BlackBox. There's a lot of big names in there, obviously, but a lot of the big boys aren't there, Andy. Raptor, Mate, Slippers... Yeah. Focal, Harry.
Do they say they don't want to be every year? Is that why? Because I mean,
no idea.
Slippers in particular. Surely, if he's in it, he's going to win it because everybody will vote for him. Yeah,
he's not in it. It's very odd because I mean, I was a judge last year. BlackBox wasn't. We couldn't be nominated last year. They asked me to, I don't know, have a look at some of the entrants and pick like the top 20 or whatever, and they were all there last year. All the big names. So I don't know what's gone on. I wouldn't have thought they all would have turned down the chance to be on it. So, very strange. Very weird. I don't know what's going on there.
The real question is there anybody else that's on it twice? Because someone on this stream is on there twice.
Do I do 2 streams? Luke?
Stop it.
Oh, Luke with Inspector Goals, of course.
Stop it. It's the guy that gives all the no-armed banter. That's the guy that's on it.
That is all you're good for, to be fair. But it was... Do you know what?
Exactly.
This week, every now and then, I think of that and I still laugh. And I listen back to it on the pod, and there's just like 20 seconds of silence where I don't say anything. It was very good. Colin says James FPL Planet should win the award. Yeah, they're not in it. They're not in it either, I don't think.
No.
Maybe they are, but I don't remember seeing them. Anyway, vote for us. As long as we can pip the Wire to second or third place, we're fine. We've got a nice the Wire in it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I think the big names, if you can call them that, are Janny, Holly, the Wire, us, and then it's great to see loads of other accounts like represented. But I think in terms of pure subscribers, they're the sort of the big ones. But yeah, Juice is in it. Gary,
Nice.
FPL Have a Beer. There's a few others. So yeah, go check out the nominations and vote for yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just stalling. Let's go into game week points. For anyone who's not familiar with my game, my game is a crock of crap at the moment.
Mate.
I know, 31 points. Awful week. Obviously, just too much reliance on Forest. 3 Forest players against Burnley, all blanked. Wirtz didn't play. Watkins blanked again. I played Rodon over Reinders. It was... Rodon versus Reinders was a really annoying one because I was just 50-50 on it the whole time. And
Really?
Yeah, and I just thought there's more chance of Rodon getting DEFCON and maybe a clean sheet. I thought Arsenal would win that game. I thought it'd be 0-0 or 1-0 Arsenal, something like that. And yeah, not only did Reinders got the assist, he got these DEFCON points, and then the day after the game closes, they take the DEFCON points away from him. Well, they take the DEFCON away from him, but he doesn't lose the points. And Rodon gets 9, and he's 1 away from getting it. It's just...
What's brilliant as well, though, is that your other 2 bench players don't even play. So it was the only real decision you had to make.
I got it wrong. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said at the start, you might be thinking I'm obviously going to be wildcarding this team out. I'm not. I've made 2 transfers. I'm sticking with the boys for one more week, and then we'll decide next week.
Yeah.
My team for next week's got a 94% rating on a Plan FPL.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, what more can happen? Yeah, disaster. Absolute disaster. Let's take a look at your week. You fared a lot better than me. And I mean, considering that we had basically identical teams at the start of the season, the fact you're now about 25, 30 points ahead of me, it's gone a lot better for you with the decision making.
Yeah, I mean, Sells in goal actually got some save points. That was quite nice. Richards got DEFCON. Richards was a good pick at the beginning, to be fair. He's done all right for me, and he's done better
Everyone's going for him now as well.
Than Munoz. Yeah, exactly. So 4 points from him. Porro with 1, who, with losing some set pieces as well, considering Van der Ven, Romero, and you've got all those DEFCON centre-backs, Porro's looking like a poor choice now, to be perfectly honest, especially with his price. Munoz with 2. Salah was my captain with 10. Bruno Fernandes, who I got in... 3 weeks ago, has got me over 20 points. I'm very, very happy with there. 10 points, yeah, great. Reinders, who I did play, got me 9 points. Saw a lot of people benching him. Anderson got me 4, which this was one of those weeks where Anderson getting 4 was actually quite big. Like him getting those extra 2 points actually helps. Like it wouldn't have been, or it would have been just a grey arrow, but obviously with him getting an extra 2 points, that's kind of nice.
He got them quickly as well for a change, didn't he?
Yeah, I know,
He didn't leave you waiting until the 80th minute.
Last 2 weeks has been great, hasn't he? Wirtz, I just, honestly, for everything, even when I say now he's not been great, I still get Liverpool fans jumping out saying, come on, what the hell, he's been brilliant. It's like, no, come on. It's just been awful. Pedro and who else do I have up top? Because you've taken the screen away from me.
Yeah, sorry, I've just taken it away because I'm trying to find the chat. Hang on one sec.
Much either. And of course Watkins as well. 47 points, 600k green arrow. I take it considering I rolled my transfer and I knew that I was going to wildcard. So having 3 free transfers and now wildcarding feels very, very strong in terms of having a team I want, plus transfers that I can hopefully just play with for the next, however many weeks. So yeah, very happy.
Well, I've got to talk to you about the wildcard because I'm very interested to know. I mean, we both got Watkins. Obviously, we've both got rid of him. You've got rid of him on the wildcard. FPL Scope can't believe we still got him. Don't worry, I haven't either. We've both shipped him off. I think it's the most popular move, Watkins to Haaland, and sort of fund that in any way you can. Fernandes, I mean, could you be any luckier?
Oh, come on.
Could all the Fernandes sheeple be any luckier? Then he gets a 96th minute penalty, and then Sanchez gets sent off after 5 minutes. It's just...
Mate, 90 minutes. He literally plays every minute of every game. He's on penalties as well. He's playing for the team that is third or second best for XG so far this season. I don't think it's that lucky a pick. Personally, I think we knew what we were getting with him. We paid the money as well. It's not like he's a 5 million Leeds midfielder who just got a goal and assist. Bruno Fernandes, we know what we're getting for him. Yeah, exactly. So, no, I mean, I'm very, very happy with what he's done, and I wasn't expecting what we did against Chelsea, but we did also, we went down a 10-man as well. So, no, I think that's great. I don't think that's a lucky pick at all.
Well, Daniel Banks says missed the penalty versus Fulham and should have had 20 points versus Burnley.
Exactly.
I will say that I now own Fernandes, so this will be the last time you hear me slating the man, because now he's in my team. Once those game week kicks off, it's all going to be fun.
Well, you are going to slate the man because he's not going to do very well now.
No, I know, that's very true. I do not like Bruno Fernandes at all. It just it pains me. But sometimes, Andy, you just got to admit defeat and just accept that. With it, with the DEFCON, with the penalties, the fixtures are pretty all right for the next two, like definitely, until the wild card. So yeah.
How many points has he had so far? He's got 22
he's got two
or whatever it is,
tens and some blanks, right?
Yeah, but he's also played Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City in the first 5. So I don't think that is too bad, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. So you've wildcarded this team.
I have indeed.
Now, when we spoke last week, we were both talking up Palmer, saying Palmer was probably the best captain last week. He wasn't, as it quickly turned out. Shout out to Jan Batra, who took Salah out for a hit to captain Palmer, which I quite liked.
It doesn't sound like Maresca even knew he was injured.
No, I know, real. Well, what can you do? You get an injury and a red card. It's like a double whammy. Obviously, Palmer's now injured. I mean, when we talked last week, I thought one of the main reasons to wildcard was to move funds around to be able to get Palmer and Haaland, right? And you went early on, but as soon as the deadline hit, I did, right? Yeah. So Palmer then got injured. I mean, is there any regrets to playing it?
No, not at all. Because as soon as you move those Forest boys out, and as soon as you get Watkins out, it just starts to feel everything like the sun came out. And I was really surprised that it happened. I didn't think it would happen that quickly. It was nighttime as well, but just that ray of sun came down, and I thought, this is what I should have done a while ago.
Have you been on the shrooms again?
Yeah. And even and this is what's crazy. Even taking players like Mark Yu out, who dropped to 4.3 million, and you think, I think I wildcarded Saturday night. I had 2 price rises, and I've had another 2 since then. And the amount of team value I was bleeding, and I just kept looking at it thinking, I can't hold another week. I was barely able to hold till Saturday, and I was looking at it just thinking, I can't hold another week. And then I was thinking, I made a wildcard team based on if I wildcarded in game week 7, and I was like, it's basically exactly the same team I'm going to make, so I might as well just do it now. And like I said, I had 3 free transfers, so I could have made 3 transfers. But that would have been all to move everything around to get Haaland in. And I would have had my team, and I still would have had like double Forest defence. And I just looked at it and thought, I'm just going to wildcard. And I haven't regretted it once. I keep looking at my team, and I'm getting quite excited about the prospect of bench boosting a bit earlier as well. And I think it was the right choice for what I had to do. And like I said, for the 3 transfers after as well, I think it works personally. It doesn't work for everybody. Some teams I've seen, they've done a very, very good job of either starting with the right players, or they moved the Semenyos, Andersons, players like that in already. Fair play to them if they've done that, because I'm seeing some teams that haven't wildcarded and look very similar to my wildcard. So it doesn't obviously work for everybody, but for me, it definitely worked this week.
I was surprised. I'm not surprised to hear you say that, because obviously you're gonna say that you can build a good team and it's fine. But your team is better than mine this week, and I haven't been tempted to do it, because as soon as Palmer got that injury, I just thought, well, I can get Fernandes and Haaland in for free. I've got Reinders already. I've got a defence which this week looks all right. Porro, Munoz, like Forest defence. Okay, they haven't been great. They are playing Sunderland at home. Like there's a chance for them there. And you already had Fernandes in place, and you had 3 transfers. So I was surprised when I found out you'd still done it, if I'm being honest. But good. I'm glad you're happy.
What is it? I went on Plan FPL this morning, because I was trying to build a few wildcard teams again. And of course, they don't know that you've wildcarded and you've transferred players in. And I think there was a 0.6 difference because of players going down and players going up. The team that I now have, I couldn't have afforded 4 days ago. And like I said, there was a 0.6 difference in those teams. Like Wirtz has gone down again. And it's I looked at it and thought, do you know what? There would have just been those little compromises in a couple of weeks' time that I wouldn't have wanted to do. And now I've done it. And don't get me wrong, this could be very, very wrong, but I'm looking at it and thinking, it just works for me at this moment in time. And obviously we'll see my wild card in a little bit as well. And we'll talk about it, talk about what works. I'm looking at the bench boost as well. But I did love the idea of having 3 free transfers after. I just feel like that's such a strong position to be in, to wildcard, hopefully roll the week after you wildcard. But then the plans you can make with 3 or 4 free transfers in the bank, I think is very strong.
I think the other thing as well is like the wild card lets you sort out your defence, right? And we're gonna be talking quite a lot about defenders on this stream and looking at some previous seasons, things like that, because the defence feels like getting that right and getting those locked in options, your Senesis, your Tarkovskis, Andersons, Lacroix, these DEFCON guys in a season where we're already seeing more clean. Okay, this week there wasn't many clean sheets, but last week we saw there's been more in general. It's interesting because it almost feels like people are wildcarding more, not for the Palmers, the Sackers, the expensive players. They're wildcarding to sort their defences out, right? Because that's where all the points seem to be coming from.
Yeah, it's to get those 90-minute DEFCON centre backs. Which
what has Mark done? What has he created? We're all wildcarding for Senesi and Tarkovsky.
We were talking about this on Scoutcast like last night and saying that gone are the days where you see an attacking fullback and think, hello, that's what I want in my team. Now it's, Senesi's looked busy for 90 minutes, let's get him in. And unfortunately, that's now how we've got to think. And I think because you've also got the upside of these centre-backs getting DEFCON now, but the fact you've got the upside of just absolute nailedness, I think they've just become overpowered, personally. And it's also happened in the same time where Munoz is having a bit of a quiet one. Obviously, Trent's left. You've got Porro that's not been as good. And all these attacking fullbacks you could probably rely on before, you can't anymore. So I think it's kind of been a perfect storm of these centre-backs coming in. The one thing that does worry me a little bit maybe is that it's still only 5 weeks worth of data. So these lads that we're saying, they're great for DEFCON, in a couple of weeks something changed. Like Forest defenders were great for DEFCON and now obviously they're awful. And so we just got to hope that the players like Senesi, Anderson, they carry on being those guys. I mean, people like Tarkovsky you'd expect to, but you pay the premium for that as well. Well,
they're 150, 160 point players for 5.5. I mean, someone like Senesi, if he carries on his current rate, he's going to get like 150, 160 points for 4-5. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable. If you had a 4-5 midfielder or a 4-5 striker who was getting you that, and it's even better that it's a defender because that's just a spot you can just lock that out and just not worry about it. They're going to get points in the tough games. They're going to get the 4 points. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that because it's funny that we talked about DEFCONs as a way of widening the pool. But actually, I think it's had the opposite effect, and now we're all migrating to the same core bunch of like 4 or 5 defenders. And we'll see that when we look at some wildcard drafts.
Do you think it's a shame that? Do you think it's a shame that we're like it has maybe taken a little bit of excitement away? Like the example I used last night was Truffert at Bournemouth. We should be looking at Truffert with his attacking stats and his heat maps and thinking, oh yeah, he's the kind of player I want. Bournemouth, quite a good defence. He's looking great attacking wise. There's an attacking return there somewhere. But for one of his attacking returns, it's just 3 weeks of DEFCON for Senesi. And we're like, well, can't really compete, can he? So you're going to go Senesi. So it feels like it's taken something away a little bit.
I think they're going to have to rejig it next year and maybe make the DEFCON points they did it with like Tarkovsky, didn't they? Like they made him 5-5. But players like Senesi, Anderson, they're going to be 5-5-6. And then actually, I think the Trufferts and those, I mean, okay, what he is, but they're the ones that might be cheaper, the 4-5s. It's going to be a complete turnaround, I think, in how we pick defenders. Because at the moment, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't pick 4-5. Anderson, Richards and Senesi are such incredible value for what they're delivering that there's no point in not going for them. So, the 8 Noris and I mean even your Van Dijks. I mean Gabriel's maybe the standout one, but you've other like 6 million assets who are attacking defenders. You're not going to pick them. You're just not going to go near them. So
no, exactly.
Yeah, interesting. Great and the good, mixed fortunes across the board. About half of the guys got a green, the other half got a red. I got the biggest red, and I got the lowest score with 31. Oh, awful. But luckily, I'm still just ahead of Tom Freeman by 9 points, who's having a shocking week. Greyhead pointed out to me that not a single person in the great and the good, so that's 20 people, owns Haaland, or owned Haaland in Gameweek 5. So
that'll change.
Yep, we can expect that to change. Luke is top out the three of us. He's at 3 million. You're at 4.3. I'm at 7.5. Mark is just ahead of me at 6.1 million. Quite a few chips played this week. Praz had a great week. 72 points for him with the bench boost in play. He went up 3.6 million places.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, some of those bench boosts smashed it this week, didn't they?
It really did. Yeah, it was a good week. It was a good week to Benjamin Dubravka got the 4, didn't he? And like a few others did well that people were picking. So, yeah, nice. Let's talk talking points then. Let's start with Haaland. This ties into your wild card as well. I mean, if Haaland is out of Burnley at home, you're surely going to be kicking yourself about pulling the trigger.
No, I would just
not even if Haaland's out. Okay.
No, I think I'd get another striker in, keep the money in the bank, and then just get Haaland out, put it back in. I mean, the yellow flag. This is all theory, isn't it? There's no chance he doesn't play. Surely, the only reason he's got his bad back is because he's the only one scoring goals. So
he's carrying the team.
Exactly. So no, I think it's fine. Don't get me wrong. If by some miracle we hear that he is definitely out before the game, then yes, I would just. I'm in a good position because I haven't had to bring him in with a transfer. I would just take him out, put in another player, keep the money in the bank, and I'll be fine.
Well, I'm in more trouble if he's out because I've pulled him in. So exactly. I was listening to Andy earlier. Andy says, because Andy's done the same moves as me. He's saying if Haaland's out, he's going to free hit.
Oh,
so
really?
it might force me into a free hit. I'll be free hitting out my 3 Forest players at home to Sunderland, and oh my god, this is the quote from Guardiola. So this was just before the Carabao Cup game that they're playing tonight. Haaland was in recovery yesterday. He didn't train. Big recovery. Today I didn't see him, which sounds bad. All the rest of the players, because they're all having a recovery day. I didn't see the rest of the players yet, but I'm hoping we can back for the weekend. It's been such a demanding week, the last game especially, and sometimes players have problems, but I think we will be fine for next weekend. I hope so.
Yeah, he's fine.
It sounds fine, doesn't it? I mean, didn't he upload a picture of him on Snapchat, like with a load of like Shrek emoji? Yeah. Like he looks like he's having fun. It is. I mean, it is interesting that he came off against Arsenal. He signalled to the bench. He said he hurt his back, tweaked something in his back or something like that. But
yeah, a
week off, full rest.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I mean, the big thing there was obviously that they were all recovering. So he was just saying, you know, he's going to get asked about Haaland, and he's just like, yeah, big recovery. He's been working hard. You know, obviously had a bit of a niggle in his back. I think he'd be absolutely fine. If we, like I said, hear something to say that he's not going to play, it will make FPL interesting because of how many people have brought him in. I mean, do you genuinely think if he was out, you'd free hit?
I don't really know what I'd do.
No.
I mean, if he's out for a week, oh God, if I'd used 2 transfers to bring in and injure Haaland, I mean, I'd be having bloody Rodon come in again. I'd probably wildcard.
Really?
It probably would be the thing that would force you into the wildcard, and I'd probably do the same as what you're doing, or what you do. I'd have a placeholder for him, to bring him in. Ironically, the placeholder would probably be Watkins.
Oh God,
who I've just taken out.
Not Isak.
I suppose, yeah, but a tough game against Palace, and 60 minutes probably all he can manage. I mean, he's going to start now, isn't he? But I mean, absolutely ridiculous. What is Ekatike thinking doing that?
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely mad.
The BlackBox Godfather tier group chat, wasn't it? It was like, it was just everybody responding to it all at once, going, "What an idiot! What is going on?" And then everybody going, "Oh my God, is he suspended?" And everybody went, No, he's not going to be suspended for the league. And then the league came out, didn't they, and said, "Yep, he's going to be suspended for the league," and it was brilliant.
Well, I actually knew he would be, because I'd read about the rules when Sanchez got the red card. when I was trying to work out whether he was going to be banned in the cup or not, and it basically
nice.
just said they all carry over to like the next competition. So I was pretty sure he would be. But then some people put a bit of doubt in my mind. But then Ekitike is out. So if you own him, you need to deal with that. I mean, it's probably a bit of a blessing in disguise, though, isn't it? With Isak coming back and things. At least that's a transfer you're sort of forced into making.
I did feel like Frimpong was reacting for all the FPL players that owned Ekitike out there.
I know.
He was literally pushing him, going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I saw him do it, and I was like, I was like, he's going to get booked for that. He's on a booking, but I couldn't believe that it would actually happen. And then the ref just pulled out the red card, and I was like, oh my god.
I think it was Will Still, because obviously he's the manager of Southampton, and he used to manage Ekitike at Reims. Said he literally turned up today and said, "Don't worry, boss, I'm going to give you my shirt and I'm going to walk out." And that's exactly what he did, because he took his shirt off, got sent off and walked out.
For a tap-in against a team in the Championship, it's absolutely unbelievable. What do you reckon? I mean, I know we're supposed to be talking about Haaland, but what do you reckon the reason for it was? Do you reckon it was like, you're all talking about Isak, I'm here, I'm still scoring?
I think so. I think it was a bit of that. It might have been a little bit of the whole Will Still thing as well, ex-manager. Yeah. But I mean, people don't do it anymore. People don't take their shirts off because of it. So it's really... really odd. But yeah, I mean, I was saying, I feel like this is kind of like probably going to be one of his biggest mistakes. Like, he was only going to leave the team at some point, but he's probably just, he's made that a lot quicker than he would have done if he hadn't done it.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Haaland. This is the question from Matt. Would you risk triple captain on Haaland now? That's the big question, Andy. You're on a wild card. You haven't got the luxury of doing it. I have. Yeah. A, would you do it anyway, regardless of the injury? And B, would you do it even with the yellow flag?
Yes.
Good.
I think I would.
Right. Yeah. Next section. Excellent. Yeah. I think if we've got the knowledge that we've got now, I'm still going to risk it. This is a good graphic from Rob T. We got a bit more from him a bit later on, but this is excellent. So this is looking at spread market betting. And obviously all the great bits that Solio are doing. It's around goal projections. So he looked at last season to see whether Man City's expected goals against Burnley marries on to some of the great fixtures that we had last season when more goals were expected. What did we say? 15th, is it, on this list?
Yeah.
So
15th, yeah.
In terms of Man City scoring goals against Burnley, they are predicted to get 2.76 goals. That is, there's basically 14 fixtures last season where there was a higher points expected. That's not bad. There's a lot of fixtures every week. It's still right up there. It's still one of the best ones. It's going to be similar when Man City play Leeds, when Man City play the other promoted team. I've forgotten, Sunderland. That's the one.
My Sunderland.
Your beloved Sunderland. But we thought it had come at a good point because we're sort of at the beginning stage of the Champions League, and there might be a bit more rotation when those other fixtures are taking place and everything like that. But yeah, I mean, we're going to look at some stats. I mean, Burnley are a funny team, aren't they? They did well against Liverpool. They frustrated them for long periods. They are bottom of the defensive metrics, so he's going to get chances. But is he going to play? Is he going to play? We're both saying we think he will. But is he going to get 60? Yeah. Is he going to get 50, 60 minutes?
I don't think so, personally. Unless he asks to come off again. Basically, when he's fit, he plays. And if they feel like he's fit, he'll be fine. He won't be, protected or anything. The interesting thing I thought of when I looked at this graphic was, if you look at in the game week column, how many of these games were in the second half of the season? Because obviously by the second half of the season, you've got some of these teams that are they've already given up, basically. You look at some of these like Liverpool against Leicester, Liverpool against Southampton, Liverpool against Ipswich. These are teams that were like, we're going to get relegated. And obviously I would say goal projections seem to go up a little bit more as the season goes on, because teams are more... they know what they're about, and they know whether they're going to get relegated, and teams look good. So I thought that was quite interesting, because if you look at the first half of the season, there's only about 6 or 7 games on here then. And then obviously it boosts him up a bit more, because this is the first year we've ever had first half season chips. So when you're trying to play triple captain in the first half of the season without a double game week, you've just got to go for it in a week where you think this is going to work. And also when you think there's been no Europe midweek, he's been rested against Huddersfield. And you're looking at it and thinking, even with the yellow flag, which I think is nothing, it just looks like the best week on paper. It was the biggest thing that made me hurt going with the wild card, knowing I couldn't triple captain this week. Don't get me wrong, it might not work, but on paper, this is one of the best weeks to wild card. The only other thing I would say is he is a forward. So forwards, and obviously triple captaining a forward in FPL can obviously not be as good because you don't get the clean sheet points, you don't get the extra point for midfielder, all that kind of stuff. But, home against Burnley, bottom for XGC, everything makes sense. I don't see why, if you still had it, you wouldn't be at least considering it.
Yep. 10 out of the 15 games are against promoted teams on this list. The others being West Ham, like Bournemouth, Spurs when they were really, really poor. So, yeah, I mean, it does look like a great week. And when you think about Man City's record against Burnley as well in previous seasons, they thrash them every time they play them. They thrash them. And Burnley, were run to Sean Dyche back in those days. They were excellent at sort of putting men behind the ball, but City will just find a way. It only takes one little mistake, one misplaced pass, one thing, and Haaland's just in with the form he's on. It was similar when I triple captained against Southampton. I mean, you can see on this list, that Southampton game, they were like fifth. One of very few games where they scored less than 2 goals when they make this list. But yeah, I mean, that was a game where they were frustrated. But I mean, I think Haaland put in his biggest XG, one of his biggest XG performances of the season, I think, in that game. And only came with 1 goal. He scored in the first 10 minutes as well. And then just missed chance after chance after chance. He could have scored 5 or 6 goals in that. These low block teams against City, I don't know. I think they'll find a way.
Yeah, I think they probably will. And I mean, this is also talking about a Haaland that is just absolutely far and away the best FPL asset we've got in the game at the moment, regardless of price. So you think he is, double the guy that's in second, which is Bruno Fernandes for XGI involvement so far this season. So if you triple captain him and didn't get anything, even if you triple captain him and only got 1 return, I think you'd count yourself unlucky based on the decision making. But I was going to say something that I can't remember what it was now. I don't know. I look at it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Do you think he will be over 200% EO?
Yes.
So even if you captain him, he's going to be hurting you for points.
Yeah. I think he will. Although we have had this before, and I thought maybe a Salah last year would be slightly over, and then it's been like 185, 190. I think he'll be in and around 200, maybe a little bit higher. But if you're not, if Pep gives the news that he's fit, and you haven't played your triple captain already, and you're not on another chip, you're just going to do it, aren't you? You're just going to... I can't really see too many reasons not to, unless you're waiting for another promoted team. But I think from what I've seen so far, Burnley probably are the best one to go for.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, the only other team I'd probably target is Wolves, because I think Wolves are probably worse defensively than Sunderland and Leeds. So Wolves is another one I wouldn't hate too much. But, like I said, first half of the season, you've got to use it at some point. If you're not wildcard, and I think this is the week.
I think that's the thing with some people are hesitant to use it, aren't they? Because using a chip is scary. You only get one.
Oh yeah, big time.
Until Christmas, and then it all gets reset. And you can want to put it off to try and hit the perfect number. I've had about 7 calls from a no caller ID, so I might have to take this in a minute in case something like mental's happened. I've never had this before.
Okay.
So I will move over. I can't really because I want to talk about wildcards. Should we go over to your wildcard? No, okay. Let's go on to wildcards first. Let's go on to wildcard chat. If they phone me again, I'm gonna answer it. If not, it'll be fine. Right. Wildcards, we've touched on it already. I did a bit of research going into this. I thought I'd have a look at what the wildcard templates are. I don't ever recall seeing such a strong wildcard template. We had one a few seasons ago where remember when everyone ended up on like 63 points or whatever it was, and in every league it was like the same points, but it's really, really templatey now. So what you're seeing on the screen is the content creators wildcard. So I had a look at the streams from Slippers, Raptor, Mate, Harry, and Focal, and this is basically the team that they've all got. So Slippers and Harry have exactly the same team, 15 out of 15. Raptor and Focal then have 13, I think, out of the 15. and that's just their bench options.
Yeah.
So the 11 is identical. Mate went a little bit different. He's got, I think, 11 out of the 15 or something like that. But it's a very, very strong core template. The team is Raya in goal, Gabriel, Tarkovsky, Senesi, Ndai, Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, Reinders, Gyökeres, Pedro, Haaland, and then Dubravka, Stack, Anderson, and Richards. It's a strong team. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I look at that team compared to mine, my bunch of absolute jokers, and think the only difference there really is that backline. Because I've got Reinders, Semenyo, Fernandes, Pedro, Haaland already. And like, would I wildcard for Ndai and Gyökeres against Newcastle? No.
You're wildcarding for the backline as well, though, aren't you?
That's it. Yeah. So this is what I said to you earlier. You're wildcarding for a backline.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think that's justifiable in a way, because that backline, you know, we, like you said already, we've seen these 4.5 million defenders that aren't 4.5 anymore. Isn't Senesi 4.8 now? And you know, those defenders all of a sudden aren't amazing value when they're 5 million. And I'm looking at it and thinking, like we've said, it's not that when those defenders are getting 6 points, you're getting a little bit left behind. Those defenders, when they're getting clean sheets now, are getting DEFCONs and bonus. Senesi got 9 points this week, didn't get, you know, attack and return. That's all for him being, you know, good defensively. So they are kind of leaving you behind a little bit. And the other thing is these players have good fixtures. So it kind of seems like a good time to do it. But I agree with you, there's not that much difference. And one of the biggest differences when you look at these wildcard teams is there's no Liverpool.
Nope.
Literally, you don't see Liverpool anywhere unless there is someone that has tried to go for a Haaland and Salah draft. You're not seeing Liverpool anywhere. The team that's won every game so far this season.
So they were in most of the streams they were presenting a Haaland and Salah draft, but I don't believe any of them are going to go with one from what I heard. There was also no other Liverpool players mentioned, like Van Dijk, like Kerkez, Frimpong, Isak, Wirtz, Gakpo. None of them featured. So again, I like you say, I think that's interesting because I know it's a tough couple of away games, isn't it? But then it's Manchester United at home, which looks great for points. And by that point, Isak could be an option by Gameweek 8 or Gameweek 9. So again, that's one reason why I'm thinking if I can get through past the international break and wildcard and bring Isak in, and I'm still ranked, I'll probably be ranked about 8.5 million by then, but maybe Isak is the saviour to my team that people won't be able to get so easily because they've, you know, not got the money to be able to put into a position like that because they've spread it around so much in defence. Because I mean, it's a pretty pricey defence. I mean, you've got Raya at 5.5, you've got Gabriel at 6.1, you've got Tarkovsky at 5.5, Senesi if you're paying 5.8 for him, and Anderson and Richards. Like, there's no Estevs or Rodons or anything like that. You've got the money tied up in quite a few different areas.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's so many good 4 million defenders about. I'm really surprised they haven't gone for one of those. You've got quite a few, and we'll probably talk about them in a bit anyway. But I think the problem is, and you know, this happens every time. When you said about we've never seen such a template wildcard, I think you do every year because actually you've got Haaland, Pedro, Gyökeres just seems like the absolutely nailed front line at the moment. You've got Reinders, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, who seem absolutely fine with no Palmer, Saka. Some people saying he's injured again tonight. That picks itself.
Is he? And you've got he's gone off injured tonight.
I don't know. Someone said it in the chat, but I don't know whether that's true or not.
Did he? He started. He started tonight.
Hang on, let me have a look.
Sorry, I realize I'm asking you all these questions. You're basing this off a message you read 20 seconds ago.
That's all right. No, it looks like he's still on. So unless he's going off now, but So I think a lot of it does just pick itself. You basically just pick between 4 or 5 players.
Yep. Review team. So Luke, thank you. You put this together for me. This is the optimal, as we love to say on this stream, review team. It's Raya in goal with Vardiol, Tarkovsky and Senesi. Gabriel and Anderson on the bench. So an even more pricey backline because you've got Vardiol in there over a Richards or someone like that. Saka preferred over Gyökeres with Bruno Fernandes. Mitoma, I was very surprised at. Luke did say there wasn't much in it between Semenyo and Mitoma. Obviously, Mitoma's a little bit cheaper. Reinders, João Pedro, Haaland, and look at this, Big Dom, Calvert-Lewin makes the squad. And I'm seeing people talking about him as a 5-5 striker, potentially on penalties, playing for Leeds.
Yeah,
he's the guy that frees up the money to get that back line and get Saka, and
you know why Luke's put Matoma in here, don't you?
You
know why, don't you?
To tempt me.
No, that's not why.
No?
Nope, that's not why at all. It's so we could go, why would people say Matoma and not Minter? Oh, I bet people picked Minter last week. What legends would put Minter in their team?
Minter.
Of course, because Luke put Minter in his team and he's been great, hasn't he?
What a shout. What a shout that was. I saw that and I was like, wow, that is very, very rogue.
Yeah.
I mean, again, interesting that Review picks Matoma over Minter, because I'd say both are pretty similar for minutes. Maybe Review puts Matoma a little bit up on minutes over Minter, because there's a little bit of competition over there. But still, what do you think of Vardiol?
Well, that's the player I was just about to talk about, actually. He's in my team. I like him a lot.
Okay.
I like him a lot. I like him for this week. I think he is probably the most nailed defender in that City team. He can play in all the setups they play. I think Luke did a bit of a thing about him saying he was great as well. I think Gvardiol's a great pick. The thing that I'm surprised at is that there's no Spurs in either of these at the moment.
With
Considering
the best
their fixtures.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, they've got the best fixtures for quite a while as well. So I'm surprised by the lack of Spurs. Maybe that's an edge you can have on Wildcard as well.
Wolves, Leeds, Villa, Everton, and Manchester United all in the next 6.
Yeah.
There's some poor defences. When we come to the defensive stats, like that is, 3 or 4 of like the almost bottom defences that they're playing. Is a very good one. I guess it's just hard to know who to get. And Review loves minutes, right? So unless it's Kudus, who is pretty much nailed on, there are some concerns around like Xavi Simons, around Richarlison, around obviously like Brennan Johnson and other players like that you can't really pick. So yeah, Kudus would probably be the one. I'm surprised Kudus isn't in over Matoma, for example.
Well, Semenyo. I still think, if there's any possibility Semenyo's on pens, which we think he is definitely going to have pen share, even at his price, it's going to be 8 million before long. He's still worth it, isn't he?
Yep. And then the Solio pick, shout out to Praz and Co. Thank you, Praz, for sending this over to me as well. So this one is Raya in goal with Gabriel, Tarkovsky and Lacroix, Ndai, Mbumo, and Fernandez. Double Man United midfield. Paqueta, Reinders, Haaland and Gyökeres. And then Dubravka Muniz comes in. Richards and Anderson. So, the players that are in all of these are Raya, Gabriel, Fernandez, Reinders, Haaland, Gyökeres.
Yeah,
they're your core picks. No matter what model you go to, no matter who you're listing or doing to, that's who it is. And then you've got a sprinkling of like Tarkovskys, Ndai's. They're the ones that are still very highly owned, but you can play around with. Interesting that the Solio model doesn't have Senesi in it.
I know. I was just about to say that. They obviously like Richards, Anderson, and Lacroix more, but they haven't picked Senesi yet. They've got Lacroix and Richards, which is also very interesting. But can I just say very, very quickly, the graphics of Solio I like so much more. I think the graphics are awesome, the way they obviously show their screen here. But I like Mbumo. I think Mbumo is a really interesting pick moving forward.
I nearly did it.
I do like it. I feel like I think he's 3rd for XGI so far this season, and I know Bruno's obviously there in 2nd, and he's on penalties, which is why it's so hard to go for Mbumo. But that's why I kind of get going for both. But again, no Semenyo.
No Semenyo. Yeah, if we look at the fixtures, Bournemouth. So got Leeds and Fulham, and then I guess you can argue Palace away, Nottingham Forest, Man City, Aston Villa. It's not a great run, but it's not bad, is it? Especially when you're picking players like Matoma or Ndai. Everton have got 2 good games, for example, and then then it's Man City away, Spurs, Sunderland away. Sunderland have been quite good defensively. Fulham. I know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Semenyo isn't just a nailed on asset. Do you think it's because the models are taking a bit of time to adjust to the fact he might be on pens and
you think so?
What Bournemouth are about, right?
Yeah, and Kluivert's minutes are probably still hovering around 40 to 60 or something like that. So obviously that takes the pen share away there. I Kluivert will still be on pens. So when he is on the pitch, Kluivert will have penalties. It's just how much Kluivert gets in now, basically. So it only takes one injury, and all of a sudden, Kluivert's back in there. Whether it's an injury to Scott or Brooks or other lad, but Tavernier or whatever. So I think Semenyo is still a great pick because of that pen share, and obviously how he's playing so far anyway. So yeah, I think I'm very, very surprised to see an Mbumo or who was the other one, Matoma instead of Semenyo. But I do like the Mbumo pick. And also, I've said it before, they played 3 of the hardest teams in the league so far in their first 5, and he's come out of it pretty well. So
I've got a few other surprises. Not for you.
I love it.
I haven't got any surprises for you.
Guys don't do that enough for each other, do they? They don't surprise each other.
Yeah, could you just send me like a Pokemon card one day? That'd be lovely.
That's fine. I'll slide into your DMs again. It's fine.
Yeah, please. I mean, there are the thing with these models, the thing with teams is that, and I think Luke said it best on a black box once. He just said we're all incredibly risk averse these days.
Yeah.
And you look at like players I'm going to list now, like potential like surprise inclusions you could put on a wild card. So like Foden, for example, Doku.
Yeah.
2 Man City players with Burnley, Brentford, and Everton coming up. You've got Xavi Simons for Spurs. There's no Newcastle defenders. And I'm going to show you points and I'm going to show you defence. And Newcastle come up really, really strongly. Not seeing any Shares, any Livramentos, any Dan Burns, any Popes in goal.
Yeah.
It's all rare. And Mbumo is one that I think is could be a real differential if you want to go against Fernandes or double up. Grealish, everyone's going in die. What about Grealish?
Hey, there's 4 Everton midfielders you could pick.
Yeah.
there's KDH, there's Garner, there's Grealish, and there's Ndai. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Can't believe it. Hang on, I'm just gonna have to go for a second. One sec, I'll be back in a bit.
No, off he goes. That could be anything. Maybe he's getting some like mystery calls like I do. Yeah, I mean, it makes a bit more sense when we come onto the stats tables, but there's a lot of players to consider. I think the wild card, it just feels like people go so safe these days, and like there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these wildcard teams at all. They're all good picks. You've got Ndai, Paqueta, Fernandes, all on penalties, Gyökeres too, and that's what the models want. They want nailed on players on penalties. That is effectively the game these days. But it's just a shame that like fun picks are sort of eliminated now. But I know exactly what Luke would be saying if he was here. He'd be saying, weren't you talking about Arias at the start of the season, as didn't you say you can't win FPL without Arias? I didn't actually say that. I meant more you can't win FPL without picking like some players that other people aren't going for. But your Grealishes, your Ariases, your Mbumos, these are like left field players that less and less people, fewer and fewer people are going for as they pick these type. It's a shame. You right?
Yeah, I am. I've got a little 3-year-old and I put him in a bed without a side bit on his bed for the first time, and I was like, I know he's going to fall out while I'm streaming, and he did. I heard a massive bang and I quickly had to run up there.
Was that what the thump was? Oh no!
Did you hear it? Did you? Yeah.
I heard a little thump. Did you have to? Is he just strapped in now, like straight jacket, and now you're back on?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Good. He's all right though, I'm guessing.
Oh no, he's fine. I'm sure he's fine.
Good. Yeah. We'll find out in an hour or so. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So that covered. The other one I want to talk it to you was about defenders. So I've got Senesi here. We've obviously covered them in a fair bit. Did a bit of research, Andy. Actually did a bit of work going into this stream. What I thought I'd do is just have a look at top point scorers for the last, I think I've done 4 seasons or something like that, and just see what positions they're kind of generally in. So all you can see on the screen is the top point scorers for Gameweeks 1 to 5 so far this season. Haaland at the top, Semenyo. You got Chalobah, interesting, in third, Senesi. And I was going down the list, I was like, hang on, Chalobah, Senesi, Mark Gahey, Timber, Calafiori. I was like, this is a lot of defenders on this list. So just to put it into context, there are 9 defenders in 2025 in the top 20. So nearly half of the top 20 point scorers so far are defenders. If we go back to last season, you can see only 3 defenders in the list. Mids and forwards, Haaland, Diaz, Salah. Gabriel was 4th, but other than him, it's Palmer, Saka, Jackson, Mbumo, Son. Raya actually gets a mention in 10th. Only 1 defender in the top 10. If we go back to 2023, We've got Haaland, Alvarez, Mbumo, Salah, Bowen, Edouard, Saka, Son, Maddison, Awanayi, Ward-Prowse, March, Romero, 13th. And he's the only defender in 2023 to feature in the top 20 in that season. And then if we go back to 2022, we've got Haaland, Rodrigo, Gross, Salah, Firmino, Mitrovic, Martinelli, Sterling, Odegaard, Jesus, Kane, Cancelo. You'll go right the way down to 11th to find a defender there. And there are 3 in total. So there's triple the number of defenders in the top 20 after game weeks 1 to 5 so far this season. We have had more clean sheets. If you look at the top 20, there's 54 clean sheets this season, 45 last year, 28 the year before that, and 34 the year before that. I mean, it's not an exact science because there's more defenders on the list and all that stuff. But generally speaking, that list shows that clean sheets are now more important for us than they maybe were in previous seasons because, the mids and forwards were far and away when they were getting points, like massively outscoring players. But it's just another showing, isn't it, that just how important the defenders are if this carries on in the way that it has done over the first 5 weeks.
But I agree. But interestingly, most of the defenders up here, like Chalobah, Gay, like Chalobah scored 2 goals so far.
Yeah,
Gay, he scored an absolute screamer and got an assist in that game, didn't he? Timber obviously had an absolutely mammoth game. Calafiori scored a goal as well. So interestingly, most of the defenders, apart from Senesi, who has just been a beast. I know he's got an assist, but he has been a beast and he's in 4th. Majority of them have had weirdly massive games so far this season. So I'm not sure how much you can garner from that. Like the ones that are interesting are the ones that have got no goals or assists. So like
Senesi,
I said, the ones like
Senesi,
the ones like Senesi who's up there, Dan Burn, who's also up there, who I know you were kind of alluding to a little bit earlier. Those are the types of players like Lacroix, no goals, but he's 18th. Those are the ones I think you've got to look at and go, well, if they can get a goal or an assist as well as what they're already doing, then my God, they're going to shoot up. But you've got players like, Timber. Would you say Timber is a better asset than Senesi? Because obviously, he had that 1 kill a week. I'm looking at Senesi and thinking, my God, he's basically the best defender in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what happens if Bournemouth start conceding more, right? But he's so cheap at 4.8, it doesn't seem to matter. I think Tarkovsky at 5.5, still, he, like I said earlier, he's still going to be probably 150, 140, 150 points, but he is still 5.5, whereas Senesi at 4.8, he's just set and forget, isn't he? You get him in and that's that position. I'd say him and Anderson are just pretty locked for people who are going to be... I can't think of too many reasons why you would want to get rid of those players. Unless Bournemouth literally start conceding every game and they're not hitting DEFCON, which I think they probably will continue to do that.
It's interesting because Bournemouth, if you look at the next 8 to 10 game weeks, Bournemouth are comfortably in the top half of the table for fixtures. Fulham really aren't. Fulham are, bottom 3 in terms of fixtures. And their next 4, Aston Villa away, Bournemouth away, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away. They could easily make it through all 4 of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, Aston Villa's next. They can't obviously score most of the time. But you're looking at those 4 and thinking, it's not great. I mean, if you were on Wildcard, would you say Anderson is an absolute lock? Or do you just wait for after all of those and then get him in?
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, you don't want to be messing around with a 4-5 defender, do you? Like if you've already wildcarded, maybe you just get him in and just hope for the best. Because I don't think there's any other 4-5s that can compete with his... I mean, if we come over to DEFCON, I mean, he's getting it in 80%. He's had it in 4 out of his 5 games. Senesi and Tarkovsky are the ones still at 100%. I mean, look at Casado's DEFCON, though, as well. He's had 74 defensive contributions. That should have been enough to get him every week. He's missed out on 1. But yeah, you got Senesi in 2nd. I mean, Anderson's down in 10th. You look at other 4-5 options, there's not really anyone else around there. Agbadou, maybe at Wolves, but you'd think Fulham are going to get more clean sheets than Wolves. I'd back Fulham in a tougher game than Wolves in a easier game because I just don't like Wolves much. I think they're going to really struggle this season.
Where's my man Mukiele?
Mukiele?
Yeah, he's got it every time he's played.
He's
Sunderland
probably
defender.
He can't have hit... he's not in the top 20 for defensive contributions, though. Has he played every game?
Is this ranked by defensive contributions?
This is ranked. This is ranked by total number of defensive contributions. Yeah.
Yeah, Moises Caicedo. I mean, what did we say at the beginning of the season? Oh, you can't be picking Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, you
2
said that.
goals,
I wouldn't have.
Stop it.
I wouldn't have said that about him. It just doesn't sound like me.
No, so I mean, Tarkowski's an interesting one as well, isn't he? Like, you're looking at someone like Tarkowski, and I've been considering Tarkowski instead of Gvardiol quite a lot on Wildcard. I feel like it's between one of those to be in my team. They both got quite nice fixtures this week. Everton are third in fixture ticker over the next 8. And looking at it and thinking, in pretty much all of those games, you're expecting 4 points at least, aren't you? So is Tarkowski at 5.5? Is he a better asset than a Gvardiol, do you think?
There's not much in it, is there?
Yeah.
Because Man City are a funny team because you never really... I mean, Pep's talking, isn't he, about becoming a more resilient team and hitting teams on the counter-attack and going back to that way of playing. But I don't fully trust them. They always seem like a team where teams only need 1 or 2 chances to maybe get a goal against them. Whereas Tarkowski, it doesn't matter. Like, teams can score against them, and if he's going to be getting 4 points there's going to be few games, I think, in which Everton get battered.
Yeah.
Because they set up so well defensively. So, and if they are playing like Man City away, or I mean, they played Liverpool away already, you can just bench him. But in pretty much every other game, you're going to want to keep him in.
Yeah.
I'd pick Tarkowski over Gvardiol.
Would you?
And bank the 0.5 if I was doing it, yeah.
Yeah, I've looked at it quite a bit, to be honest. I mean, City have Burnley at home, Everton at home in the next 3. Everton, though, they've got West Ham at home, Crystal Palace at home, Spurs at home, Sunderland in the next 5. That's not bad, is it? And then Fulham at home in 11. Tarkowski, especially if his floor is 4, yeah, it's hard not to go with him.
They're a team set up for 1-0s. That is what I like about him. Like, he's not just getting the death card. He's playing for a team which sets themselves up for him to get the bonus and the clean sheet as well. Whereas City don't. They could win any game 4 or 5-0, and then Gvardiol's not getting anywhere near the bonus points.
Yeah, I don't know. Did we see him in many of those wildcard teams from the projection sites?
Tarkowski,
was he in all of them?
Yeah, he was in all but one. I think he's in Solio. He's in review. I don't think he was in. Oh no, he's on all of them. Yeah, content creator, review, and Solio. I thought maybe he missed that in review, but he didn't. No, he's in all 3. He's in all 3. Interesting. Final talking point for today is Villa. Look at that. I like that graphic. Literally, someone made me the perfect graphic for this. We don't need to go into a huge amount of it. I know everyone's selling out Villa. I know people are, not interested in their assets, but I thought I'd just put into context just how bad they have been this season. So this is Villa and all the seasons they've been in the Premier League since 2019. You can see the stats here. We all know they've scored 1 goal. That's obviously the worst that it's been. Their XG delta is the worst. So their expected goals is 3.8. So they should have scored 4 goals. That's still the lowest, by the way. So even the numbers, both the numbers stack up. The total number they've actually scored and the expected goals. Obviously, the lowest minutes per XG, 1.25. Best was in 23 when they scored 11 goals, 43.6. They got 12 goals back in 2020. So they had an amazing start. And last year they got 10. The year before that they got 11 goals. It just shows it's been a really tough start. But also, if you look at the goals conceded metric as well, they're actually having their worst season for XG conceded in the same period between game weeks 1 and 5, 8.4. So they've only conceded 5 goals. 3 of those are against Palace. But actually, they're sort of overperforming on that because their XG conceded delta is minus 3.4, which is the worst. So they're lucky. They're maybe unlucky not to have scored more, but they're lucky to not have conceded more goals.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, do you remember when I almost went triple Villa to start the season?
Triple Villa attack, wasn't it? Wasn't it Bailey, Watkins and Rodgers?
No, Marlon.
Oh, Marlon, that's him.
Yeah. And I mean, we couldn't have really foreseen this, could we? Is this something that we should have learnt from? I don't feel like this is something where I've looked at it and gone, oh yeah, looking back, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, the biggest issue we've had is just the price change. Watkins is going down again tonight, I think. So the fact that he could be 8.2 after 5 weeks, it's just gone horrendously. And I think I was saying to you about, we were talking about why your rank is so bad.
Thanks.
And we were saying like trusting
Inquisition.
Villa, trusting Forest, these teams that have been in the league for a while and we thought we knew exactly how they were going to play and what we would get from them have completely upended us basically. So yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, I think Gianni's had a massive love-in for Harvey Elliott and he doesn't seem to be, getting in there either.
No.
So yeah, I don't think things are going to change overly anytime soon, to be honest. So yeah, if you've got them, they're an easy sell. Even with the nice fixture this week, Fulham at home and then they got Burnley at home. That's nice, but can you see him scoring more than one in each game? I don't think so.
No, I mean, I wanted to give him. Ideally, I wanted to give him Sunderland and Burnley because I knew that Everton game was going to be low scoring. But Sunderland, you hope for something. When they went down to 10 men, I thought surely this is it. Sunderland looked great when they went down to 10 men. It didn't look like they were struggling at all. When
it's just a generational team, mate. That's why.
Absolutely, always said it.
Yeah.
But you just look at these numbers and you just think, unless there is a dramatic turnaround, they have got 2 home games, but Fulham are a strong side.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go there and suddenly, if the expected goals was higher or more in line with previous seasons, I'd be saying, okay, they've just been unlucky. But they're not. They're struggling to create chances and something isn't right there. So easy sell. If you've got Watkins and Rodgers, I think they are priority sells.
Agreed.
Yep. Good. We're going to look at some data. Just a shout out to Fantasy Football Scout. I thought this graphic was very appropriate for a lot of us, particularly me. So start to FPL. We'll put you back on top. If you're interested in, all the data that I've just shown about defenders and Villa and everything, it all comes from Scout. Really interesting going through previous seasons and looking at things like that. So give the QR code a scan. Look at the link in the description. You get 5% off if you use the code FFS BlackBox5 at the checkout. They've got Rate My Team, comparison tools, they've got fixture tickers, they've got everything you possibly need. And obviously you'll be supporting BlackBox by getting involved in them too, so check them out. This is one of the tables I made from the data. This is the team defence season. And I mentioned Newcastle earlier. They've had the 17th worst fixtures, according to the Scout ticker. They are top of XG non-penalty per 90 that should be conceded. As in they're conceding the fewest chances. And I'm not seeing them in any teams. I'm not seeing any defenders in any teams, and I can't believe it. Pope, I'm not convinced on Raya. Like I've been there so many times with him. I'd be picking Pope over Raya personally if I was Wildcard.
No, you wouldn't.
100%.
You wouldn't.
100%. I'm done, Andy. I'm done with the double defence. The double defence never works. It's evil.
It does. I had double City defence to finish my season last year, and it was glorious.
Double City defence to finish.
I did, yeah.
Really?
Diaz and Gvardiol, yeah, it was lovely.
I suppose Diaz did, weren't
and I had double Villa as well, and that did really well too. So no, it is surprising that Newcastle aren't in many, but I think it's because they're 5 mil, aren't they? So people aren't going for like a Dan Burn, Livramento, because they're 5 million. You can get obviously these other boys like Anderson, Richards, Senesi, all for under 5 mil. So I think that's probably part of the reason. If I were to go with any of them, I wouldn't be going with Pope. I think I'd go Dan Burn. I think that's the way I would go because, nailed on, Newcastle fixtures they're not the best for the next 3 weeks. They've obviously got Arsenal this week, but then from game week 9 onwards, they're not too bad. But I think it's just because they don't have a prolonged, great run of fixtures. And I think that does hurt them a little bit as well. So I think Dan Burn would be the way I would go.
Hang on a minute. I'm not buying that.
Really?
Arsenal tough. Forest at home in 7, then Brighton away. We're going to smash them, obviously. Then it's Fulham, West Ham, Brentford. Okay, then it's Man City. Then it's Everton, Spurs, Burnley, Sunderland. There's only 2 games really in that 8-9 game run that you'd be happy. Also, it doesn't matter because this is a goalkeeper you're going to be keeping right up until January. Anyway, you're not going to make a goalkeeper transfer.
You're talking goalkeeper. I'm talking defender, obviously. Not that makes a massive difference.
I'm still focused on my Pope loving at the moment. Yeah, to be fair, if you're picking a defender, it gets. I wouldn't pick like Cher over Gabriel, for example, but I think in goal you maybe can take the risk.
Yeah, I think I get it. Like I said, if I was picking one, I think I'd pick Burn. I've always been a big Livramento fan as well, personally. But again, can't really go for those wing backs at the moment, unfortunately.
No.
So if you were picking your keeper at the moment, you wouldn't have Raya or Donnarumma. You'd be picking Pope.
I'd be picking Pope to save the 0.5. I've got 0.6 in the bank less than you, Andy. I've got to make these sacrifices somewhere.
Yeah, I do look at the new. I always keep remembering about this Newcastle team, and obviously with the XG conceded, they played Villa first game, didn't they? And Villa put up 0 against them. So I do wonder how much of that has a bit of an effect as well. But they could potentially be second or third without it. But then there's other teams that have played Villa there as well. So, but no,
these stats are encouraging though, right? I mean, they are statistically the best team with the 17th worst fixtures in the league so far. So they're struggling to score goals, and they're almost becoming reliant on grinding out a sort of a 1-0 win like they did against Wolves.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, obviously the previous 6, it's one of the highest ones out there in terms of how difficult the opposition have been so far. So, yeah, I don't hate the idea of going for someone like Burn. I just think it's tough to go with them, considering you've got other players that are cheaper.
Yep. Villa down in 17th. We mentioned. Look at those previous 6 difficulties. They were second over the ticker, and this is why we went with Watkins and those who went with Konsa and players, because the fixtures were just so good. Yeah. I don't think anyone could have predicted what's happened with them. I mean, it's just been absolutely ridiculous. Burnley, I wanted to call out as well. They are bottom. They've been sort of mid-table for fixtures. So far they've got a really tough run coming up, but the signs aren't great. The teams are just creating chances against them. They can be as resolute and stubborn as they like, but when you're conceding an XG of 2 over 2 a game, like you're going to get found out. They have to tighten up if they're going to survive.
The problem is that their assets are so cheap. So obviously Dubravka, everybody's going to have, because he's the only 4 million playing keeper. The one you can move off of, I guess, is Steve, because he Electronic Steve, for anybody that doesn't know. Is because obviously, is that because you've got Alderete, you've got Mukiele, you've got Goodmanson, you've got good players that are also playing for promoted teams, but they look more likely to keep a clean sheet. And you look, Sunderland are 6th, Leeds are 11th in terms of XGC conceded. I think I'd rather be going for one of those rather than keeping, Steve, who you don't really want to double up with Dubravka either.
No, I agree. I think I'd be looking to definitely move away from that double. I know it's quite popular because it's the bench boost in 8, isn't it, where they play Leeds?
Yes.
So I can see the logic, but if I was going to do that, I think I would hedge my bets a bit and not go for the double defence.
Yeah, I'll try and have either that, or you go Dubravka, Steve, and Lyle Foster, and really go for it in
or
the bench
just go
boost.
attack Leeds. Yeah, just
exactly.
Absolutely attack Leeds. Yeah. A few people mentioning Donnarumma over Raya and Foden. I think he'd be 3rd on my list out of those 3.
Yeah.
Great goalkeeper. I just, like I said earlier, I don't massively trust City, and I think defensively, and I think it's hard to know where. Like, he's going to keep less clean sheets than Raya, I would have thought, and he's the same price, so I can't really see why you would.
Yeah,
unless I'm missing something obvious.
I think he's more as well. I think Donnarumma's 5.6 at the moment, so
yeah,
I think Donnarumma is a much better shot stopper than they've had for God knows how long. Obviously, he's much
unbelievable keeper, unbelievable goalkeeper.
So do you think that's going to improve their defence enough to justify him?
Good point. And I mean, the signs are there. I mean, Pep is talking about playing more defensively, but I don't know. It's hard to judge, isn't it? After 5 game weeks, you want to see it in action. They've conceded 5 goals already this season. That's more than Sunderland.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had Trafford in for 2 of those, didn't they? Or maybe even 3. But yeah. I don't know. The fixtures are sort of mid-table for them. I'd be picking Raya or Pope all day, every day.
Yeah.
Look at the attack. I mean, Man City are top of this. So again, we're talking about Haaland triple captain. You're looking at the statistically best attack in the league versus statistically the worst defence in the league. I mean, are we missing a trick not doubling up with Foden and Doku or one of those players? Foden scored again tonight, I think.
See, Foden is tempting. Foden is tempting. And the other reason I quite like Foden being tempting is because of his price point that you can move off him if you want to. You could literally just bring him in for this week if you really wanted to. And obviously, this week against Burnley at home, And if he does play and he starts, he's got Brentford and Everton. I don't dislike the idea of going for a Foden. I just worry that we've got other players that are slightly cheaper that are doing better than him anyway. How many goals are we expecting in that game, do you think, against Burnley? 3 or 4?
I've gone for 3.
Yeah. So 3 or 4. Haaland, over 6 XGI so far this season. He's most likely going to be involved in at least 2.
I swear to God, if they win 6-0 and Haaland goes off at half time or gets an assist, I will be livid. Absolutely livid.
It's who else gets it. I mean, Doku's looked good as well.
Yeah, I like
Reinders is obviously great.
Doku's a good one. He's looked really good so far this season.
And obviously Reinders 90-minute man. Like, he's on the bench tonight, but 90-minute man. I don't hate the Foden one. The only thing I would say about Foden is make sure you have an exit plan. So if you get him in, make sure you're able to move him out. You know who you're going to move to, because it could very, very easily turn out to be an absolute nightmare owning him. So I get the Foden hype because I looked at it myself, but I just moved off it thinking it's just already owning Haaland and Reinders. I didn't think I needed to do it.
Yeah. United in second, we talked about those already. They've had the toughest start. They are creating good chances. They just can't seem to finish them. Palace in third, I was a bit surprised by that. Obviously lost Eze. Had not of great summer in terms of recruitment, but nearly 2 goals expected a match. They're actually they've scored 6 goals, but they should have had 2 more as well. So if you've got Mateta, like Mateta's someone who we're not seeing in any teams. I know the fixtures turn tough, and they're the 19th over the next 6, but still, he's a nailed-on striker on penalties. I thought maybe he would creep into a few models or a few wildcard teams, but nope, not seeing him anywhere.
But then every time he scores and kicks a corner flag, he's going to get booked as well. So you've got to take that into account.
Well, he kicked the corner flag the last game, didn't he? But he didn't break it, so he got away with it. So he's just got to limit his strength, and then it'd be fine.
Do you know the one that most stands out for me here in terms of what could be interesting is Arsenal having had the 19th, it being 19th on the table for the previous 6 opposition, so second hardest opposition, now going to having the second best next 6. I am so interested to see what Gyökeres does, because I keep getting the impression, especially with the fact that he's come from Portugal and he plays against teams nobody's ever heard of, that he's not going to be any type of an impactful player against teams that know what they're doing and are good, whereas he's just going to be a flat track bully. And with Arsenal's fixtures coming up in West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Sunderland, Spurs, I feel like there's going to be something coming up here where we go, yeah, you own him in those fixtures, but don't expect a lot in the other fixtures. And for 9 million to have a flat track bully, I think that could be quite nice. So I'm genuinely interested to see how he does in these next kind of 7-8 weeks.
Well, Aaron says, is he the new Soldado?
Oh, Soldado.
Soldado is a great comparison. Well, potentially a great comparison, though, because he was supposed to be that missing link, wasn't he, for Spurs when he signed? Yeah. With all that creativity. I mean, that was the Dele Alli, Ericsson years, wasn't it?
That was the Gareth Bale money, wasn't it?
Yeah, where they just needed someone up top just to put chances away. And I think he started off quite strongly. I think he might have scored in his first game or maybe in the first 2, and then he just faded.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it all, but it didn't really happen. Gyökeres, I mean, I haven't been that impressed with him, but he has got that bit about him where you look at him, like the game sort of passes him by, but you feel like this guy, he just needs one. You can't judge him really, can you, on stats or anything, because he just needs one chance and he's going to take it. He's that kind of poacher type player. I think in
the next 6 or 7, when he's got West Ham, Fulham, Burnley, Sunderland, I think we can start judging him after those if he's still looking exactly the same.
Yeah,
that would be a massive worry then. But I think if we get quite a few goals in those next 6 or 7, I think it's fine.
You've got to own him for West Ham at home, haven't you?
Yes, but obviously Saka could be back as well. Do you think there's any consideration from you that Saka is a better option than Gyökeres moving forward?
My head tells me that Gyökeres being the focal point of that attack is just going to clean up. And if Saka still had the penalties, I think it's close. Yeah. But I think Gyökeres as the 9 with pens is clear. I think I was talking to Mark about it actually at the when we met the other day, and he was saying, he was saying, I'm going to go for Saka over Gyökeres. I haven't been that impressed with him, blah blah blah. But it's just the kind of move that I do, and then you just watch Gyökeres get like 3 penalties in 3 games, and Saka maybe picks up a couple of assists, and then he's got that bit of an injury as well, isn't he? Like you never know if he could get a bit of, I mean, the Madueke injury is good for Saka's prospects, but they've still got to be careful with him because he keeps picking up these little knocks. And would it be too surprising if Nwaneri came in for 1 game just to give him a bit of a breather?
Yeah. I think it would be completely different if Gyökeres was more Isak's price. If he was more 10.5, there would be probably a bit
9.
more of a... For 9, I don't think it's really a risk, to be perfectly honest.
No, nor do I. Just finishing off the attack, Villa in 18th. And then you've got Leeds down in 20th. So a lot of new Stack owners, for example. Again, he's 5 million. He's a good pick. You can see why the Moors love him, but don't expect too much from Leeds at the moment, attacking wise. Their stats are not great. Just to run through some of the other stats for the player stats. Looking at defenders over the season, I mentioned about Newcastle. You've got Botman. He's only been in for a couple of games, but his FPL points per 90 is one of the highest. You've also got Burn in the top 20. You've got Livramento in the top 20. You've got Cher in the top 20. 4 out of 5 clean sheets. I think they've got. I'm just going to urge people not to overlook Newcastle defence in with all the other players I know that are really good. But if you can squeeze in, Botman at 4.9 isn't a terrible shout. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I mean, Botman and Burn, I feel like, is a tough one because of what they're going to share potentially in terms of minutes.
Yeah.
So I think that's obviously a tough one. Share's obviously been in and out at times, hasn't he? But he's got 350 minutes so far this season.
He had the concussion stuff. He's the most nailed, I'd say, for sure in that team.
I'm genuinely, I think if you were on Wildcard, do you think you would pick a Newcastle defender over the likes of Anderson, Richards, Lacroix, Senesi? You would pick one over all of them, do you think?
That's why I'd go for Pope.
Really? So you wouldn't pick a defender?
That gets you in. That gets you into this defence, and the feature. I just wanted to point it out because they're all featuring so highly on here. Yeah. I think a Newcastle defender is just a great shout. Okay. But no, in actual answer to your question, so I gave a different player answer. No,
you did. That was a very politician answer.
It was, wasn't it? It was. Yeah. Well, I'll give you a proper answer. No, I wouldn't pick Burn, Livramento, Botman over those other players we talked about because I think the other players have got more route to points than the Newcastle ones do. But in goal, I think that's where you could potentially change it up a bit. Van der Ven is in the top 20 as well. This is sorted by points. He's looking great. Romero's just ahead of him, but he's obviously cheaper now. Poro is obviously on this list. Yeah, they're creeping up. If you're going to move for him, you've got to move for him now. He's in your team, isn't he, Van der Ven? I think I saw him.
No, he's not.
Right, good.
No, but okay. I think it's between Van der Ven and Anderson because I feel like if I start with Anderson, I'm not going to play Anderson until game week 10, whereas Van der Ven has a nice fixture in game week 8 where he's got Aston Villa at home, and I'm thinking about bench boosting in that week. So there's every opportunity I do have Van der Ven. The only thing with Van der Ven for me is that I prefer Romero. I think Romero's a better pick than Van der Ven. So if I picked Romero, I'd want to play Romero in the next 3 weeks. So they've got Wolves, Leeds and Aston Villa. So yeah, I prefer Romero. I feel like Van der Ven owners, and they're going to hate me and I don't care, can count themselves a little bit lucky maybe that it's him that's picked up all the points because I think Romero should have been on more points than Van der Ven by now. But I would pick Romero over Van der Ven.
Yep. Okay. I think I agree actually with that. For 0.4, it's not much in it. But the thing with Van der Ven though is his price is increasing all the time. So yeah, you could get him at 4.7. He could easily be 4.95 in a bit, and then you can make a little bit more money. But I think out of the two, I think Romero is the better pick. Mids over the season. So this is sort of by XGI per 90. We've got Mbumo at the top. Look at Anthony of Burnley, second on the list. 0.53. What a start to the season he's had. Second
best Anthony to ever play in this league. Do you know
Very
what?
Good.
When I was tinkering, was it Sunday or Monday? there was a point I put Anthony in my team for a couple of seconds.
Oh my god!
Because of bench boost 8. And I looked at it and thought, do you know what? Do I do it? And I thought, no, I didn't want to pay 5.56 million for my fifth midfielder. That was the thing. We've got so many good 5 million midfielders to free up 0.5 million. I just couldn't go for Anthony, especially with the fact that I would only want him for game week 8. So yeah, he's put up some good numbers though.
Well, number 1's got him, I think.
Yeah,
had him from the start. I think there's another one in there I was saying last week. Triple. Oh no, number 1 hasn't got him. It must have been usurped.
Yeah.
There's someone in the top 100 who's got the triple Burnley midfield. So
fair play.
Yeah, fair play to them. Grealish in 3rd. He's someone I'm interested in. Ndai's in 10th. One thing we didn't mention about Ndai was I think he was the only attacking player on that DEFCON list to be, in the top 20 for those DEFCON points. So you talk about routes to points. You can see why he's popular because he's got the penalties. He's got good underlying stats. Everton have got good fixtures, and he's getting DEFCON in half the games he's playing in. So I mean, what a pick he is at 6'5".
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? I mean, like I said, the thing that I've just never been that fussed about Njai. I don't know why. I picked him last year when he was a striker, but I've just never been that fussed about him for 6.5. I mean, at the moment, I think I've got KDH in my team because I feel like at 5 million for 1.5 less, I quite like him. But yeah, I've never been overly fussed. Maybe I do need to consider him a bit more. I didn't realise his DEFCON was quite so high, actually.
Well, another good thing with NJ is if you look at the XG per shot, not penalty, so that's the quality of shot that he's managing to get off. That's the highest of all midfielders at the moment, 0.33. And it's a lot higher. I mean, Fernandez is second with 0.28. And then you're dropping down to Brennan Johnson and Docker with 0.22. So not only are his stats good, they're not just like lots of crappy shots. They're decent efforts that he's able to get away. He's kind of a perfect blend of a lot of different metrics, Ndai.
Here's one for you then, because there's only 0.2 difference between them. Who's a better pick, Njai or Enzo Fernandez, if Enzo Fernandez is on penalties because Palmer's out for 3 to 6 weeks?
Well,
Enzo's stats are good.
The stats would indicate there's nothing between them.
Yeah.
Because they've got the same things. I mean, in fact, when it's that close, you're probably just looking at something a bit like the potential for DEFCON, right? I mean, is Fernandez on that list? Well, the other Fernandez is no. See, Enzo isn't. Enzo isn't on there, but Ndai is. So when it's that close and you're looking for just a little bit of a reason, I think I'd favour Ndai.
Fair enough.
Kudus in 12th. You and I both eyeing up a little Xavi Simons move this week, aren't we?
Yeah.
60 minutes he got tonight. That's pretty good. That's what I was hoping for. I think he starts pretty safely against Wolves.
So I messaged my guest who is coming on with me on Friday for late tackle. Nice. So I messaged. Can I say who it is?
Of course you can.
Ah, lovely. So I messaged Baker. So Baker's coming on the show with me on Friday. He's
it's Flappy.
Massive.
Huh? I thought it was Flappy.
No, it's not Flappy. It's Baker.
Oh, it's Baker. Oh, lovely.
I messaged you saying it's Baker.
Oh, lovely. For some reason, good job I didn't do the thumbnail. I thought you told me it was Flappy J.
No, I literally said it's Baker, and you went lovely.
Oh, it is lovely. Hey, it is lovely. I love Baker, so I'm more than happy with that. I just had it in my mind it was Flapjack.
So, what did he play in the end tonight? 60.
He got 61. Yeah.
Yeah, 61, which is
perfect.
He had
five
key passes in the first half. He looked very, very good in the 10 at the weekend. I think, I don't think, Baker thinks that now he's in the 10, especially with Sarr kind of being weirdly out of the team, that is Simons to lose, basically. Kudus is cheaper, and Kudus has had better returns so far, because obviously he's played more minutes. It says only 1 assist on here, but I'm assuming Kudus has got more than 1 assist, because he got another one at the weekend. He had 2 to start the season, didn't he?
Interesting.
Yeah, so but I do think there's something to be said for whether you go Kudus or Simons. But I think Simons in the 10 with Spurs' fixtures could be really exciting, personally.
Yeah, this assist column might be a bit off because it's I think it's the fantasy assists rather than the total. So I'll check that for the total. Basically, I love Scout, but Scout's got like 10 different ways you can define an assist. So it might be that this one might just be the wrong. The rest of the stats are right. It might just be the total number. Yeah, I mean, so you'd pick Xavi over Kudus, right? Yeah, you picked Xavi over Kudus.
I think so. Kudus just seems like Semenyo from last year, where it's like, there's going to be a lot of huff and puff. I mean, yeah, he's doing well so far and he's gotten the assist, but I just feel like Xavi Simons could be that player that kind of just unlocks that next level in your team. And if you're wrong, just move back to Kudus.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
But I do think Simons could be a really exciting shout.
Yep, I like him. Forwards. I mean, it's all about Haaland this week.
He's doing well,
1.47. Yeah, here he's quite good. Beto is quite high on this. And Beto was actually in a review team that Luke sent me until we adjusted the minutes for Calvert-Lewin. The models like him. Again, way to tap into the Everton attack. That's going. I talk about fun picks. That one's going a bit far, isn't
it? Yes, that's not a fun pick.
Interesting
seeing Gyökeres in 10th, by the way.
Yeah, Gyökeres is in 10th with 0.37. So it's only marginally higher than like Ndai and Enzo, who we talked about. Conversion rate of 42%. Obviously, that's high. A high XG per shot, 0.22. That's one of the highest, top 5 out of the forwards. I just don't feel like we can really judge Gyökeres because exactly like you said, those fixtures aren't suited for him. And there's not really one. They're sort of tough opposition, but the chance he's going to get, surely, with players like Saka, Eleze and Odegaard coming back in the team, he's going to be licking his lips.
Here's a question for you. Gyökeres, Pedro and Haaland are the 3 most picked on Wildcard, and they're the 3 players that everybody's been trying to get to recently. Which player is going to make one of those players look silly? So is it going to be, which player? So that, for instance, Gyökeres and Pedro are 10th and 11th on this list. Haaland's obviously top. But which other player do you think should be in that 3 instead of, say, Gyökeres or Pedro?
Well, Pedro is... if I was to wildcard the next couple of weeks, I'm not totally sure I'd have Pedro. No. He's obviously had a great start to the season. But again, if we're talking about routes to points, now we've seen Enzo take that penalty and Palmer's going to be out for a while. Can Pedro keep up with some of these other players? I mean, do you switch to, you look at some of the midfielders, for example. Maybe you go 5 in midfield, and you take a punt on some of these players with like crazy stats, like Ndai, like Mbumo, like a Doku. Maybe that's the spot where you can have a bit of fun. Also, he's the most owned player in the game.
He is, yeah.
Pedro. So he's almost a perfect player to punt against because, I mean, the stats are fine. Like, they're okay. I mean, he's 11th out of forwards, 0.37. It's all good. But he's not essential, I don't think. Whereas I think Gyökeres with the fixtures and Haaland with the form are.
What about...
So he's the one I'd be tempted to lose.
And which one would you bring in? Because obviously you spoke about midfielders. If it was a striker...
Straight swap for a striker. Well, then it's tough, isn't it? Because
Sesko, innit? Yeah.
Remember when I was talking about bringing him in and captaining him?
I do remember that very clearly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could argue Mateta, couldn't you, with Pens when Palace's fixtures turn a bit better. Yeah. I don't think there's a lot in it between Pedro and Mateta. I mean, the good thing about Pedro is he's just got no risk anymore because Delap's obviously got the injury. Mm-hmm. He's started the season well. Who's going to come in? I mean, Mark Gue isn't even in the squad for these games. I mean, George is there, but I think Maresca's already said he's sort of not up to the level. So that's a big bonus for him. But without penalties, I'd say Mateta could probably keep pace or at least outscore him.
I think Mateta's up there. I think also as well, for only 6.4, and he'll come back in now, is Strand Larsen with the fixtures. Wolves' fixtures are pretty nice. I think if you wanted to go cheap, but the thing is, Pedro's so cheap as well. He's only 7.8. You're only really saving 1.4, so it's not a lot.
I'd like to confirm, by the way, that the assist column is right. It's just sorted by the fantasy assists. So it needs to be changed, like the total number, because the fantasy assists don't include like the Opta assists. Right. They're like the extra ones.
Oh, I see. Got you.
They're the extra ones. What I needed to do is the total one. So they are right, but yeah. Cool. Okay. Predictions then. Straight over to this. So interesting week this week. I currently have 11 players playing on Saturday.
Oh man.
No.
Oh man.
How horrible is that? Absolutely awful. Anyway, so my Saturday's going to be fun. Brentford Man U. We've both gone for a 2-1 Manchester United. You must be feeling good now, feeling positive.
Why did we do Match of the Day challenge 2 weeks ago? We should have done it.
Yeah, it's a really good day for it.
Yeah, Man United 2-1. I feel like if we are going to have any kind of a season, and if Amorim is going to keep his job for any longer, all this XGI we're building up needs to come into something. And I feel like Brentford away, let's go for it. And Bumo, revenge game, 2-1.
2 goals for Bruno? Or will it be 2 goals for Mbumo, seeing as I swerved him?
It'll be Mbumo then.
Yeah, a few people saying in the chat it would have been perfect for Match of the Day challenge because obviously I'll be Haaland triple captain and you won't. So that would have had a lot more. It would have been a lot of jeopardy going into this, and I would have had like Munoz and you wouldn't. And what a shame! What a shame. City Burnley, you've gone for 4-0. I've gone for 3-0 to City.
Yeah. I mean, it's what everybody's expecting, isn't it? Expecting quite a few goals. I've gone 4 just because I feel like you know, if they score early. Could be any score, so we'll see what happens. But like you said, Burnley did frustrate Liverpool. Yep.
Palace Liverpool. I've gone for a draw. I've gone for Liverpool to drop points here. Firstly, I think Palace are a good team. They do well against Liverpool historically, and I think Liverpool have been bloody lucky to escape all these games with wins in the way they have. So it's got to come to an end at some point the way they're playing, and I think Palace can slow them down a little bit. They're a good side.
Yeah, I'd love to think that, but I keep thinking that every week. And Liverpool looked good for the first 40 minutes against Everton. Like Gravenberch was incredible. Like Gravenberch's goal was absolutely exquisite. So fair play to him. So I just think Liverpool are going to do that thing what they do because they are, you know, looking to be champions again, and that's what champions do. So I think it's going to be 2-1.
Speaking of great goals, do you see Diego Gomez's hat trick?
Yes,
4 goals.
4 goals, wasn't it? Yeah.
Do you see his hat trick goal? His third one.
No, was it the one that it was a screamer, wasn't it? Top
yeah,
right.
he hits it on the volley, just absolutely unbelievable, amazing goal. Does Vert start?
I don't want to say too much about Verts because I keep getting death threats in my DMs, but I think they look. The thing with Szoboszlai is he does slow things down, and you saw that a little bit on the day as well. But Szoboszlai's probably been one of their better players. But I do think playing Szoboszlai in the 10 and playing Bradley at right back worked for them. They can't keep benching a £120 million player. So Verts probably does come back in, but I don't think that means they'll look better.
2 benchings in a row in the Premier League will not be a good look, I don't think.
He'll be 7 million by game week 7.
It's a tough game though to come back in. I mean, it wasn't just the fact he was benched. He looked awful when he came on.
No.
He just looked completely not up to speed at all, and he got booked and really, really poor. I think he starts, but I think he's off at. He's not playing 90. I wouldn't have thought. I need to decide what to do with him, whether I'm selling him for a hit or not. I'm leaning towards just selling him, just literally ripping that band-aid off.
I would.
At 7.5 million and just taking the 4 points and just get him. I'm not sure I'd fully trust Man U. Chelsea Brighton, we've gone completely different here. I've gone for a Brighton win. You've gone for a Chelsea win. There's absolutely no way I'm predicting a Chelsea win against Brighton. I've got Yelena in the house, probably watching this stream. I've got my dad will be watching this. We hate Chelsea.
Probably watching this stream. She watches every stream I'm in as.
Yeah, she might be asleep by now. Probably sent her to sleep. Quite a lot of stats.
I've gone 2-1. I think they bounced back a little bit from last week, hopefully.
Come on, the Seagulls. Got to win this one. Leeds Bournemouth. I've gone for a draw. You've gone for a 2-1 Bournemouth.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I say, I like Bournemouth. I have tended to back Leeds at home, but I've gone 2-1 Bournemouth just because I just think Bournemouth is such a good team, and that nothing's really changed in their team to suggest that they're going to do poorly in this game. So I've gone 2-1, but if they keep doing it like they are, then Bournemouth are going to be, riding Europe's coattails soon.
God, I hope Leeds score in that game just to wipe out those Senesi points.
Yeah, do you think it's not the best fixture to have to play Senesi in? But I suppose DEFCON's again, isn't it? So
yeah, it'd be fine. I wouldn't be too surprised if you saw Leeds attacking stats. Wouldn't be a massive surprise if Bournemouth cleaned in that. Forest Sunderland. I've just picked the result I want. 1-0. That'd be fine. 1-0. Milenkovic goal. Gibbs White assist. Come on, fantasy gods. You've gone for a 1-1. That would be an absolute disaster. that if it's 1-1, if Sunderland score, it's over. It's curtains for the season. I'm just going to retire.
Oh dear, 1-1. It'll be probably a Gibbs White own goal.
Oh, we'll 94th minute, something like that. Spurs Wolves.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I've gone for 3-0 here. I think Spurs put them to the sword. I think they're purring. They were very, very, very good against us in the second half.
Yeah.
We were 2-0 up, and there was absolutely no point in that second half. I thought we were going to keep that lead at all. And when Simmons came on, he changed the game. He was unreal. Such a class player.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those games where we hope a lot from Spurs, and it's just a 1-0, and Frank will walk away really happy. So I've gone 1-0.
Yeah, probably. Yep. Villa Fulham. This is where my weekend gets ruined because I'll be coming into these games with no players. I've gone for a 1-1. You've gone for a Villa win. That's very kind of you.
I know. Tell me about it. Yeah, I have. I think they scored last week. I know it was only Matty Cash, but I've said this, I think, for the last 3 weeks. They can't keep going on not scoring any goals. So, yeah, I've gone 2-1.
Newcastle, Arsenal. We've both gone for a narrow win here. I've gone for a 2-1 Arsenal. You've gone for a 1-0.
Yeah.
Gyökeres to score.
Yeah, 1-0, Arsenal, tough game. That's usually the way I go.
You'd be loving that when you were 1-0 Arsenal.
I would, if it's a Gyökeres goal as well.
That would be a bloody nightmare, that would. And then the final game on Monday night, what better team? Everton at home to West Ham. What a surprise. We both got the most 1-0 looking game you could imagine.
The most confident I was typing in any of these predictions. 1-0 Everton.
Absolutely. First one I put in. I was just like straight down to that. Yep, you can see it. Prediction standings. You're still riding high, but you've dropped. I told you you'd drop below Hesmo. Hesmo's the king.
Yeah, it's fine.
Of these. But prediction standings from the Patreons. Richard Morris is first with 55% outcomes, 18% correct scores. Mercurial Squid, love that name, in second. We've got Doy, we've got Tom G195, back to Jeff, Hesmo, and then a certain FPL mode. Jobalob, Silver and Gold, Ryko and Keza are just ahead of me. Lee just behind me, and then Luke down there too with Steve Hurst. Enjoying the Predictions League? This is your first season of properly playing it?
Yeah, I love it. I've played Super 6 for like 10, 12 years, so I'm loving this, yeah. Shout out, by the way, to Keza25 there, who's got the highest percentage correct outcome, but obviously is just above you. So he's obviously good at getting the results right, so he'd be good for an ACCA. I
mean, shout out to Richard Morris, who's got 20% correct scores. Getting 1 in 5 correct scores over 5 weeks is pretty bloody impressive. Captains this week. I don't think this is going to be a particularly long discussion. If you've got Haaland and he's not injured, you captain him. Yep. I guess the big question though, Andy, who's your vice?
My vice at the moment is on Bruno.
Yeah, my vice is also on Bruno. Who else would you put it on? I mean, you got Semenyo at Leeds, you got Pedro at Brighton, Gyökeres versus Newcastle, and Salah versus Palace. I guess you'd put it on Salah if you were rocking both. Yeah. If not, I think it's between Fernandes and Semenyo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I've got it on Fernandes, just, again, routes to points and all that stuff. Rob T, who we love to show, this is projected goals and clean sheets for this week. Most goals predicted is Man City, which is just under 3. They also have a 50% chance of a clean sheet, which is the highest so far. To put it in perspective, I mean, Wolves have been pretty rotten so far this season. Spurs have expected 2 goals with a 41% chance of a clean sheet. 2 other ones that are pretty high. You've got Forest, still back in Forest. Please, please. 39% chance of a clean sheet, 1.6 goals. And Everton, 1.64. Then you've got like Chelsea, 1.85. Man United, 1.72. And Liverpool, 1.73. I'm surprised to see Liverpool so high, actually. 1.73 is high, considering they're playing Palace. I mean, it's about on par with Man United. But Brentford... I guess Brentford at home have been all right so far, haven't they? It's just away from home they look like struggling.
I mean, I suppose it'd be interesting to see Liverpool whether Gahey just lets them through and just says, yeah, go on, go and score. This is the deal we had in the summer.
I reckon he'd be like, you could have paid 5 million extra and got me and you didn't. I'm going to make sure you don't get past. Interesting game. Interesting game. And then 2. So this is the win, draw, loss market odds as well. So again, you can see here, Man City, 85% chance of winning against Burnley. So if there is a freak result in that game and you dribble captain Haaland, just know it was not likely to happen. Exactly. It's the safest ones by far this week. Spurs are second with 66%. Everton, Chelsea and Forest all at 54%. percent, and then Liverpool just behind at 52. And then this can be useful if you're looking to back certain teams. This is team goal projections from game week 6 to game week 19, which is sort of until running through to Christmas. Liverpool top. Again, you mentioned no one's picking Liverpool players,
Nope.
but they are top for projected goals over effectively the first half of the season. Man City in second. Who do you think is most likely? I know you're going to say it's a stupid question. It's going to be Isak, isn't it? But let me rephrase the question. Do you think Isak can play a factor for us over the next 13 weeks?
I think in 2 weeks' time, when the Burnley fixture is gone, because if you look, City have got 2 of the best for game week 6 and game week 7, but from game week 8 onwards, it is Liverpool's week most weeks. I think that's when people are going to start looking at someone like Isak. The only issue is you're not going to be losing Haaland, and I wouldn't have thought people would be looking to lose Gyökeres anytime soon either. So it's how you get Isak in, which I don't have any clue how people are going to do that. But in game week 8, when they've got Man United, and in, who's the other one they've got? In game week 10, when they got Villa, people are going to be going, I wish I had some Liverpool. But I think Isak's the only way people are going to go.
You just go super cheap in defence. You have your most expensive defender as Lacroix, at 5, or maybe a Tarkowski at 5.5, and then you just stack the 4 5s and 4s. You can do it without massively compromising, just because we've got the option from those players. One thing to note here is Everton are very low down. They're down in 15th. So if you are picking like Ndiaye's and Grealish's, the goal projections over the next sort of few months are pretty low. This is the clean sheet predictions. Look at that, Arsenal. They're so high on this.
I say it every week when we're talking about getting double defence. They're the only team you will see who multiple times are above 50% for chance of clean sheet.
Insane.
And it's when you've only got one, you're not going to be gaining from it.
Between game week 7 and game week 12, their lowest is 41% chance of a clean sheet, which is it's like there's few teams on the list who even have that 2 or 3 times over the run. They're so high on this. So don't get me wrong, I do get the double defense. This doesn't really work for me, but you want. I think you want to be going into 7 with Gyökeres and at least one defender somehow. It just pay off. I think. Anyway, this is my team. I mean, the one,
God,
like I said,
it literally start rubbing your temples.
I know. I mean, I'd like to wildcard it. Don't get me wrong, but I also want to short Captain Haaland, so I'm not going to. Like I said, Plan FPL likes it. So let's hope they're right. Sells in goal: Porro, Munoz, Milenkovic, Bruno Fernandes, Wirtz, Semenyo, Gibbs White, and Reinders. And Haaland and Pedro, Dubravka, Rodon, Aït-Nouri, who's dead, and Mark Gu. So 2 transfers done. Fernandes and Haaland are in for Watkins and Salah. Like I said, it's just whether I do Wirtz to... It would either be Simmons or Ndiaye.
Yeah.
That'd be for a hit.
Is that your unknown
caller?
Yeah,
can you hear
again?
it? Look.
Yeah.
Unknown number again. Where's the camera up there?
I don't think you need to wildcard this, obviously. I think this is probably fine this week. But I've said that to you a lot, and you're 7.5 million. So,
and also I don't trust you because you'd say this and mind games. These streams are all mind games these days. You don't need to mind games me. Look at me, I'm broken.
I want to win those cards, mate.
Get off my cards.
No, Wirtz is he is the weak link in this team. I think he really, and the fact you've got double Forest defence.
I think I'm going to do Wirtz to Simmons.
Yeah,
because
free.
Then. For a hit. That'd be for a -4.
I mean, the last hit you did in midfield worked well.
Because then I could do like an upgrade. I could do like Milenkovic. I could do Aït-Nouri to Gabriel, for example, and get the Arsenal defender in. Whereas if I don't do the hit, then next week I'm going to still have Wirtz and still have to deal with him. And maybe he gets 2 goals against Palace and becomes a great option. But then it's Chelsea away. I don't even want to play him in that anyway.
Your front 7 is extremely similar to what people are wanting to get to and what people are doing on Wildcard. Yep. But what have we said? You would want a Wildcard to change all your defenders around because none of your defence will be in Wildcard teams or that kind of stuff. And that's the difference, I guess. Because the front 7 could get you points, but they'll get loads of people points. It's the back line that could cost you. But then, Forest get you a clean sheet and all of a sudden you're golden. But
I think my defence looks all right this week. If Sells and Milinkovic both turn up, Munoz is very attacking, and Porro's got Wolves. Like, that's fine. That's fine. So
it's fine.
We're fine.
Fine.
We're fine. It's literally that meme with the burning building.
Yeah, it's fine.
So after an hour and 45, we're finally ready to unveil your wildcard. I mean, you already showed it on Scoutcast. It's changed a bit though, isn't it? From last night?
It's changed quite a bit from last night actually. So for all those listening on the pod, I got Raya in goal with Dubravka on the bench. This is, by the way, as well, I should say, me thinking about Bench Boost 8. So I already think I'm going to make some changes to this to make Bench Boost 8 better. I've got Gabriel, Senesi and Gvardiol at the back. Gvardiol could very, very easily be Tarkowski. In fact, I am very tempted to do Tarkowski. The only issue with Tarkowski is the fact that in Game Week 8, he's got Man City away, which I'm not a massive fan of. Then we've got Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Reinders. I do have Xavi Simons and I've got Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall, again, if I'm thinking about Game Week 8 bench boost, would likely be, what's his name, Stack from Leeds, because they've got Burnley in that week. And then I've got Pedro, Gyökeres and Haaland at up top. I've also on the bench got Anderson and Mukiele. I like Mukiele as a pick. I think Defcon, he's been an absolute beast in the 3 games he's played. I like Sunderland. I like in Game Week 8 the fact that they have got, who have they got? Wolves at home, which I think is great. So I don't mind him as a pick. Anderson, I am tempted to change to Van der Ven because I get it with Anderson, but I just don't like those fixtures for the next 4. That's literally the only reason why. Whereas Van der Ven's fixtures for the next 4 are brilliant. And in Game Week 8, if I need him, he's got Aston Villa at home. So I think Gvardiol could be Tarkowski. Anderson could be Van der Ven and Dewsbury Hall could be Statch, and that would make my bench boost in Game Week 8 pretty sexy. But Tarkowski in 8 isn't the nicest. So, but I feel like I'd want Tarkowski for every other game week apart from Game Week 8. So it's a weird one for me. But this, I quite like this team personally. I feel like Xavi Simons is a nice pick. I feel like he's a really exciting one with the fixtures as well. I play him every week. I don't have to play Dewsbury Hall or Statch, whatever it is. I've got that 4 and 3 that just play every week. I think it's a good team.
It's the only team without Stack I've seen, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone else is.
And it's annoying because Dewsbury Hall is great for every other week, and obviously I can just bring him on if I need him. But Statch I would want in Game Week 8 because Everton have Man City away in Game Week 8 and I don't want to play Dewsbury Hall in that one on a bench boost. So,
a few people in the chat saying Milenkovic is injured, so that's great, isn't it?
What, tonight?
Yeah, went off a 94th minute. I didn't watch it, obviously, so I don't know what... I mean, if he's out, then that really does mess me up. Would I just play Rodon? Oh, no, I'd probably do 8 Nori out for a hit. Oh, God, that would be a real disaster. I guess I'll just do 8 Nori to Gabriel and just do that early.
Absolute cinema. He did go off injured in the 94th minute.
Oh. The BBC text says a knock, so let's hope
it's not what I saw. It said on here his leg was hanging off. Morgan Gibbs White did it.
On the ambulance. Oh, God. Let me know if you watched it. So we can talk about that. That'd be bloody typical. That would. Fun one tonight. Enjoyed it. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you very much for having me again. I say that you're not having me every week, are you? Like, you know, this is us now. This is it. We're a dynamic duo. Exactly, and I'll be a dynamic duo on Friday as well with Baker when he comes and joins us for late tackle. Looking forward to that. I'll set you up all the screens and stuff. Let me know what you lovely. Need. It's going to be very, very relaxed. It's going to be great. That's the vibe. That's the chilled out vibe. Yeah. Thanks to James last week for coming on. Planet FPL. I really enjoyed that one too. Thanks everyone in the chat. Hope you all have a good game week. Hope your seasons are going better than mine. Let's see how we get on this week. It's a big week between the Andy and Az. For anyone who doesn't know, we've got a bet on where the loser. The winner gets a fairly expensive set of Pokemon cards because because being an FPL nerd wasn't loserish enough. We also now collect Pokemon cards as well. So one of us more extremely than the other one. We don't talk about that. We don't need to go into the details. No. We'll also be doing an unboxing of the winner on the final stream of the season, I guess. So that'd be fun. Just a pie said it might just be cramp. That would be wonderful news. Not what it looked like to me. Not what my physio friend messaged me.
With that, we're going to go. Let's everyone pray for Milenkovic. Hope he makes a great recovery. We'll see you on rain or shine, whatever the red arrows are. We'll be back next week. Andy, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, bye.